You know what we about to talk about, baby? So, your opinion. Do you think there's money in music anymore? So, let's get straight into it. You dig? So, you see it on the screen. I've seen a lot of people talking about this over the past week. Um, and I have my opinions on it. I wasn't going to make a video on it. You know what I mean? I wasn't. But this is some, it's just something eating me up inside, man. I was like, man, even though I know my 2 cents, my opinion ain't really gonna matter, but it's just something that hit home, and it's something that like I think about constantly, you know, which you, you shouldn't really, but you know, I just want to give my 2 cents, man, and let's go ahead and watch a little bit of it.
Could you just live off the money from Periphery without all of these side hustles?
No.
Flat out no.
No.
Not a chance.
Even owning your own label?
No.
All right, can I?
That was the other one.
Well, no, and I'm gonna add to that. That answer really changed in the last year, really got a lot worse. Maybe even year and a half. I mean, I'll say my grand prediction here.
It does cost a lot nowadays.
I predict
even for the level
bands,
that
a lot
we
of
be
bands
doing it
that
at.
you love that you're like, oh, these guys are all right. They're gonna call it quits in the next 2 years, 3 years. And here's why.
What you
It is
think?
now a
What
non-viable
y'all
business
think?
model. The margins were already razor thin, and then
Super thin.
after the pandemic. I know you know this. Cost of goods and services in a business, right? What happens if they go up 10%? Right?
Are you talking with what goods and
I
services?
mean-
I don't know, buses, gas.
That's a valid point.
And anything's going
You
up.
can't deny
if you have
that
a
now.
business model and that goes up 10, 15%, you're in a lot of trouble.
And I just want to say, I haven't really watched it past this. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm gonna give my 2 cents on this little part of it. So do I think there is money in music? Yes and no. I'm in the middle. Okay, for one, they play metal. I be torn doing metal. We know going in that there is less money. Now, granted, today's time, metal's getting a little bit more popular, and bands are generating a little bit more money. But for the most part, metal is on the lower totem pole of making money and generating money. Like famous wise. If country, rap, hip hop, R&B, whatever, all of those tied in, those two are the most high paying. You know what I'm saying? Like them artists get paid way more. And the metal people, we make less money. I mean, just for instance, when ticket sales, you go see let's Luke Bryan or somebody like that. You're going to like an amphitheater or outside arena type thing, and you're paying anywhere between $40, $50, $60 loan tickets all the way up to, they could, I don't know really country, but low pricing, $500 for a ticket for a good seat. And go see a rap show, hip hop show. Same thing, $40, $50, $60 loan tickets, and then they can go anywhere up to $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $1,000 for tickets. Now, that's more seats, that's more people compared to a 1,500 capacity room where tickets are being sold for $40 and you got to pay $15 in fees, so it winds up being $60 total. So 40 times 1,500, besides of $40, $50, $60 all the way through $1,000 for arena amount of people. That's more money. Now, I'm a firm believer in this, man. And it's not like it used to be. Okay, used to you could, all right, if you back in the day, if you could go record a record and create CDs and just start playing some shows, you was already something because not nobody had home studios. Like you had to go to a big studio and people automatically was like, "Oh shit, these guys are my keys." I felt like they was making noise. Um, like people were like, "Oh my god, bro, who is this?" Now today's time, anybody can write a record. You can do it at home, and it sounds just as good as if you was in a big studio. You can't just create albums and put out songs and just go tour and think that you're going to make it. I'm sorry. I am sorry. You're going to spend so much money. And as he was saying, thing like things are so high. I mean, for us, for me, my, you know, experience and shit that, dude, it would cost anywhere between 6 grand and up just to pull out of the driveway. Just to pull out of the driveway to go to the corner store right up the road. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, and these bigger bands, dude, they're spending $50,000 for the bus alone just to pull out their driveway to go up to the corner store. You know, you got some bands that spending $50,000 on a bus. They're spending $80,000 to $100,000 in merch because that's how we make our money. So they're $150,000 in debt already before they pull out. You know, but that's my opinion. Let's watch a little bit more.
Well, it's doubled. It's like the cost of a bus is doubled.
Have your cost of goods?
You see what I'm saying? It just doubled. And I seen a video the other day, somebody talking about that. I think it was Garza, I believe. And he was even saying that, like, he used to be able to get, like, the big bus for, 15, I think he said, like, 15, 20 grand. You know what I mean? And now it's 30, 40 grand.
For
So-
merchandise.
I
as
was
an
going to
example.
say,
yeah. I mean,
I've gone psycho. I've had to go offshore
Right.
for it because it's crazy, and then they tariff that.
Now that then you get to, so this is what I'm talking about, and
I ain't
and
even,
of course these
see, I ain't even
things don't
think of
happen
that.
overnight, and we're
Like, terrorists and stuff, like,
talking about like legacy acts and
That's
people that
crazy.
have seen success, like legit bands that are doing everything right and that want to fight through it at every turn. But any band that is relying now on touring for income, which is now the only thing left, because what, you're going to do it from streaming? Come on.
Yeah.
So that's your last bastion for making money, and now you can't make ends meet because you got to pay everyone out. You got to pay your business manager. You got to pay your manager. You got to pay everyone else.
You've got to pay the crew that you possibly the amount of
Yep.
crew that you hired in, when
Yep.
money was a little bit better.
Exactly, and their rates are going up because their cost of living is going up. You're left, whatever you're left with, you split with your bandmates, or if you're the only one, you pay everyone out, and then what you have, whatever's left, and then you hold back 40% for taxes. This is not a way to support any sort of life anymore. It was already
bam. What I say? Like what I said earlier. You can't just go out there and just hit the road and say, like, look, I'm not. I could bring up something, but I'm not, because I'm not that type of person. As much as I want to say it, but the cost of the gas, the cost of the food, the cost of if you got a photographer with you, the cost of, just say if you had somebody to running your sound for you, the like food, I mean, and then you got to have emergency money set to aside just in case anything happens with your vehicle. And if you're paying for a trailer, you got to pay that up front. You know what I mean? If you're renting a van, you got to pay that up front. And then it's usually per miles if you're doing it that way, like a van. You know what I mean? And you have to have the emergency money because you never know. You could be going down the road, tire pop, or your tires are dry rotted. I mean, dude, we would like, dude, we bottom of the barrel. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, ham sandwiches. I mean, buying drinks, buying alcohol. No way, we ain't got to buy nothing at the bar. Like, just doing the struggle way, and would barely, the skim of our teeth, break even. That's just because we had our own van. That's the only reason why we would barely break even, is because we had our own van. And by God, I mean, if anything would happen to the van, we're back in the hole. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and I know I've heard, been told from people in the industry, okay, in the industry that are up there, that are, what you would consider a big band, what you would, one of your favorite bands that you go to. And it's like, I look up to these guys. I've heard stories and been told of their financial things, and it doesn't change. Where I'm at touring and doing what I'm doing here, it doesn't stay like change. It stays the same. It's just the money gets bigger. Like, so that's when I say there's money in it, but you have to think business wise. You know what I'm saying? You can't just go out there, like, you have to do something else. Prime example. Look, you got our boy right there, makes one of the best plugins, the best pedals. I mean, GGD drums. I mean, dude, like, that's where they're probably generating most of their money, just being honest. I mean, dude, I heard a story. Stadium band. Stadium. Okay. What was it? I'm trying to think. I think it was one show. Okay. One show after they spent, I believe it was 100 grand on merch for that night. And when you're at stadium bands, you got to pay people to sell your merch. You got da 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 da, all of that. The whole setup, the lighting directors, the in-ear guys, the people, like the workers to set the stage up. Anyways, long story short, the money that they generated that night was up there. I'm talking $250,000, $300,000, and probably more, honestly. You know how much money that they had left to split at the end of the night? Now, this is the split between the band members and I think like the sound guys and stuff like that. But it was 5 grand or something like that. 5 grand, I think. It was something like that. I seen the video. Yeah. Something like that. But that just shows you the money difference. Another story that I heard for somebody that is trustworthy. One of my favorite bands, not gonna say who told me, but they did a 2-3 month long tour. Banging tour. Banging. One of the dopest tours that happens every year. And if I would say the name, y'all would be like, oh my God. But did a 3-month tour, came back, had the money that they had left to split after everything was 10 grand, I believe. 10 grand. And they split it, and everybody got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Everybody got like 2 grand for 3 months. So come on, man. Come on. So let's do a little bit more.
Rough before all of this, but now with the cost going up, it's just non-viable. We are fortunate to be in a position where we have our other ventures, so we can just weather it, and we're doing it for fun, basically.
Yeah.
But like anyone that needs a tour to pay bills is gonna be like, hey, so the last 3 tours I didn't make enough to pay my bills. I can't afford to do this.
Yep.
And I haven't watched this all the way to this point. I haven't. I haven't even seen all this. I just seen the first like minute or two. So,
And it's through no fault of their own. They may even have seen their guarantees go up, but because the costs have outpaced that, you
Yeah.
now have an
and these venues don't want to pay you your guarantee. They don't. I mean, and like, and it's even harder for people to come out to shows because it's getting to the point where it costs so much. You know what I mean? Like, you want to sell your tickets, you know, you want to be nice, sell your tickets for $10, your t-shirts for $10, $15, you know, but you can't do that. You can't. Because you definitely will not break even at that point. But these venues don't want to pay you your guarantee. They want to pay you like they do, you know, the guy that's in the hometown that comes down on the weekends with his acoustic guitar and sets up a mic, and, you know, they offer him, you know, free beer tickets and $60 and he'll play all night. That's what they want to pay you. No, no. And then it's harder for people to come out because the cost of living's so high. They can barely afford the rent and everything at home, and they're left with barely no money to be able to go out to have fun, to be able to go out on a weekend and see their favorite bands and play. So,
insolvent business model. So that's my really crappy
I
prediction.
mean, it's
Yeah.
dark and it's on the money, in my opinion.
I mean, you know, I'm gonna cut the video short. I don't want it to be too long. You know, I could sit here for a whole hour talking about this, but you have to be self-efficient. Okay, you got to learn how to do everything. Okay, you guys to know how to shoot your own content. You got to learn how to edit videos. You got to learn how to record. You got to learn how to book your own shows. You got to know how to do everything. Okay. And then on top of that, okay, you got to be smart with your content. You have to learn to know what your audience is. You got to know how to target your audience, how to, you know, go about selling your music, how to go about making it interesting and making it like making them want to buy your music. You know what I mean? Because the streaming money, unless unless you're streaming millions, you know, independently, without a label, you're not making no money. But you just have to be smart, man. And then, like, you know what I'm saying? Do something on the sides, you know what I'm saying? Do drum lessons, guitar lessons, vocal lessons. Do on the side, bring a camera with you while you on tour. You know, they say if you play first, go ahead and play, hurry up, boom, 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 get your stuff on there, play, hurry up, get your stuff off, boom, 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 pack it up, and then tell, you know, the people that's on the tour, like, hey, I know y'all got a, you know, photographer. I can shoot your videos, your content, vertical content for you. You know, I do it for you for $50 a night. You know, you got to get out there and hustle, man. Or, you know, if you make custom things at home, I know somebody that makes custom things at home out of drum pieces, and he takes it on the roads and sell pieces, and that's how he makes a little bit of extra money. You know, and then do that. Boom, there's you some extra money. And then if you left with any money from your merch money at the end of the night, the split between everybody, which ain't gonna be a lot, boom. And then, you know, be active on your TikTok, be active on your Instagram, your YouTubes, go live, be live, you know what I'm saying? Like stream live, make some money that way. I mean, you have to think of it like a business, man. Like, and that, like I said, and that's with all genres. That ain't just saying do that just for metal. No, that's for all genres. That's with anything. That's with anything because it's like he said, because the margin is so thin to make money because everybody and their mama and daddy and sister can create music at home and it be just as good. Anybody and everybody and their mama can set up their phone because our phone nowadays is a 4K camera. You know, I mean, it's just so easy, and I mean, it's so easy to get your music and stuff on Spotify, iTunes, and all that nowadays. I mean, you can go spend, you know, $80 and get your shit on everything. So, yeah, yeah. So, like I said, that's my opinion. You can make money. I'm breathing heavy as hell, ain't I? Got them nose clogged and shit. So, don't smoke, kids. I'm fucking congested, fucking pollen and all this shit. And so yeah, man, that's my opinion. There's money to be made in music, but you have to fucking treat it like a fucking business and hustle. There's no other fucking way. You know, unless you're born and your daddy's a fucking CEO of a record label and you know, it don't matter at that point. But like I said earlier, some bands don't need a label. Some bands do need a label. So you just need to figure out, you know, which band you are or artist that you are. You know, if you ain't a talkative person and you scared and you shy to go talk to people, you're gonna have to fucking get over it. I mean, I'm just being real, bro. Cause that's me. I'm a shy person. I don't like to talk to people. But you see me making videos, you know. And then that's another thing. You got to learn how to go in, target you like that goes back to when I said you got to treat it like a business. You got to know how to sell. You got to know what your customers want. You know, it's like a business. Say if you I'm trying to think of something. Hell, say okay. Say if you run a convenience store, okay, and you get all these products, Coke, and all these bags of chips. By the end of the month, you can see, you know, what your customers buy more of and what your customers don't. So then it's like, okay, well, hell, they buying up all the Doritos, they buying up all the Dr. Peppers or Sprites, but I still got a bunch of Lay's chips left over. Okay, what you gonna do? You can go buy more Doritos. So now you know this is what most of my customers are buying. That's a shitty example, but you get my point. And you got to know how to go in and set up your ads and do all that lovey-dovey stuff. So there is money in music. You just have to do it all. Trying to be independent as possible, you know. And then once you get to a certain point to where you can start hiring people on just like a business. You start off by yourself. You slowly get to the point where you can have employees. You get to a point where you can have an HR lady. You get to a point where you can hire somebody to manage your money. You get to a point where you can hire your lawyer. I mean, so that's my opinion. So y'all let me know what y'all think. Leave a comment. If like, just let me know what you think, man. Let me know if y'all think my opinion is true or not. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to keep it somewhat short, but yeah, that's my opinion on it, man. Like the video, you ain't got to. Leave a comment, but you ain't got to. But do subscribe. Do hit that bell notification. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, y'all let me know what, you know, I'm gonna keep doing the tips and tricks, you know what I'm saying? But y'all let me know what other type of videos, man. I do everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the what I was saying earlier. You got to know what your customers want. That's what we doing right now. That's the position I'm in right now. I'm doing a little bit of everything to see what my customers want. And then once I figure out what they want, then I'ma feed you. And then I'ma feed you. But anyways, man, y'all like the video, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, man. And until next time, baby, let's get it.